Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am working with the December Hit Kit Club kits, and this um, sketch right here by Irite, one of our design team members. I went through both ephemera packs that you saw there in my two cups. One is by Vicki Boutin, the other one is Crepe Paper's Good Vibes, and I found everything craft and that peach color and that green color, and I pulled them all out and laid them out on my desk. I really loved that cork ampersand and the cork stars. And on the sketch, there were stars and then a photo with a bunch of layers behind it. And so that's kind of what I went with for this layout. I'm not sure that this completely looks like a exact replica of that sketch, but the sketch definitely inspired what I end up with as this layout. And like I said, mostly the layers as well as the diagonal grouping of stars. That's kind of the two biggest elements that I took off the sketch. So what you're seeing me do here is I'm just kind of messing around with all those little pieces of ephemera that are on my desk and putting them behind things. And it took me probably, I mean, I sped this video up, I would say in real time, it took me about, once I pulled everything out of the ephemera packs, all the colors of things that I wanted or that I thought I might possibly use, it probably only took me about 20 minutes to get the basic design of it, and then I add some other little things as we go here. So what you saw me do there was I took the green frame and I cut it in half because I really wanted to be able to use that other half on another layout. And then I put on one side of my photo, and I'm putting a second layer here of foam so that it would be about the same height as the other side, which is being held up by that frame. So I'm checking my layout here to see, like, does it really match the sketch or what I remember of the sketch? And I felt like it was really close enough and definitely inspired by it. So I went ahead and kept going. So I will admit that that butterfly there that I'm messing with was really what started me to off on those colors and pulling out those colors from both ephemera packs. I thought it was interesting that both packs are very different, but they both had those same two colors in them, and I really liked the way the two collections looked together, so I went ahead and pulled as many of those things out as possible. Okay, so now I have a basic idea of how I want my layout to go. So I've been gluing it to itself. So nothing is glued down onto the page yet because at this point I hadn't decided whether or not I was going to do some mixed media behind my photos or behind my papers or not. And in fact, this is kind of funny. I don't think I use any patterned paper on this layout at all. And I have tons and tons and tons of layers. But on this layout, I used almost all items from the ephemera packs. So kind of interesting. That's not necessarily what I was thinking I was going to do in the beginning, but it's what I ended up with. And I really like how it turned out. So I do have little things sticking out with sentiments on them that really kind of match what the layout is all about. As I started to glue these frames down, I realized, I kind of like the frame to go all the way across the back. And so I go ahead and take that foam back off, and then I add the frame so it looks like it's going all across. Because on the sketch, there is a horizontal element of it that looks like it's, I mean, when I look at it, I interpret it as that's the photograph. Of course, it could be, it wouldn't necessarily have to be that whole space, but there's definitely a horizontal kind of line. And then there's also this vertical line of the layers behind it. And so I really liked how by putting the frame across the green frame, kind of to go from one side all the way through to the other side, how it made it have that horizontal element to it. All right, so now I'm going to start gluing stuff down to the background paper a little bit. I'm adding some thread here and there. I ended up, when I first pulled all these ephemera pieces out, I also grabbed a few different colors of orange thread and the kind of green thread, and then I also pulled some shimmers from my stash in case I ended up deciding to use that, which I do end up using. I just don't use a lot, and I don't put the shimmers across the whole page. You'll see how I add it as little accents of color later. Kind of like what I'm doing with this thread, you know, Missy uses thread, and so do a lot of other people. I think Missy is probably the one that I saw use it um, first in my circle. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, I really love that. And I started using it. And I must say that I'm probably as addicted or really close to as addicted as she is to using the thread. I don't do very many layouts without it. So now I am adding a little bit of Oh Say Can You See It? It's a Colorings Shimmers product from my stash. It matches perfectly, as well as Peachy Keen colorings, which I think the Peachy Keen we might have actually gotten in a fairly recent color kit. I'm not sure about the Oh Say Can You See, but the two colors look great together. So I added a couple of circles from the ephemera packs. They have sentiments on them, but it kind of doesn't matter what the sentiments are because I don't end up, you don't end up seeing them. I added those underneath the word moments so that the word moments would pop a little bit more off the page. And I end up adding some thread underneath that as well. So I used the frames we got a pack of frames in one of the kits this month, and that's from Good Vibes, like I said, crepe paper, as well as the two ephemera packs. And then I also used, there's some pink fresh stars that are layered, and I used them I think on my last layout as well, and those layered stars are like vellum over a gold kind of, and so I used those. I thought they went really well with the cork, and they had them in the same colors. And so that was pink fresh, and then I add some more, a few little doodads as we go here, and I'll talk about those as they come up. So I thought about adding these birds, and I really do like the birds, and I probably will use them on a layout. I just am not using them on this layout. What I'm trying to figure out here is there is a little bit of black in the butterfly, and there's also black in the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday strip across the middle, as well as some other text that's on the page. And I felt like this needed a little bit more black. And so I end up finding that wreath there that I just cut in half. It had a sentiment in the middle that I didn't think I would probably ever use. And I really liked the way all of the rest of the black and white stuff that I kept putting up there, it was just so black and had so much contrast and added too much of a contrast to the layout, I felt like. And so by using this, it's more of a black and white, like black line on white. I thought it just added that pop of black, but it was still a little bit subtle and didn't stand out from the page. And then the other piece that I added was on the left side. You'll see there is a green leaf, but it has black lines in it. And I thought that added a nice little pop of black over in that corner. And I felt it like it made everything a little bit more cohesive, if that makes sense. So now I'm just kind of gluing everything down, and to kind of let you in on my thought process a little bit, I'm still not happy with the amount of black on this page, and I want a little bit more, and I do end up solving that problem in a little bit. But right as I'm gluing this down, I'm still kind of thinking at the same time, okay, I know I'm going to glue these down, I know I'm going to use these, so how am I going to add some more black in? And you'll see how I solve that problem here coming up. So now that I've glued most everything down, I decided that I do want a frame around the outside of my layout. So this is the only pattern paper I think that I used on this layout, and that is I cut the center out because I really like the craft with the white polka dots, and I know I'll use that somewhere on another layout. And but I didn't really need the white polka dots on this one, I felt like, so I just cut it really thin around the outside so that there's just this hint of craft behind it, and I think that really makes it look, I don't know, pulled together. And then I have those stars were pink fresh puffy stars, and I used those the orange ones from there. And then I have this little the sticker set that also comes with Good Vibes in the collection, Good Vibes collection. And I use several different things from that. So one of the things I use is an arrow. I think it says love you or love this or something like that. And then I'm adding these gold stars. And I had a really hard time getting all the little white pieces off the center of the stars. So I ended up getting out my little tool there, my little tweezers, and using that. So I really enjoyed making this layout. I have loved working with the November kits and making all of the Christmassy kind of layouts. But I am really an everyday scrapbooker, and so it was really quite refreshing to be able to scrap everyday moments again. This is a picture of my daughter up in a tree with no shoes on, and that's pretty much where you can find her all summer long. Um, so I did add another sticker from the Good Vibes collection. It says awesome, so that's part of my title, Awesome Moments. And I looked there, I was looking at the Vicki Wooten stickers, and I really like those, and I'll use them on another layout, but there really wasn't something that worked for me on this layout. I pulled out those gold alphas that come in the kit because I was thinking I wanted to add a little bit more gold to the layout, and then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to add some Vibes Glorious Day, which is shimmers, that's from my stash, and it dries pretty gold, so I ended up adding that. And then, oh my goodness, so in one of the kits, and I can't remember which one, I apologize, there is this sticker set, not stickers, sorry, stamp set through Good Vibes crepe paper, and it has the best phrase stickers on it, and I know I will use it for everything. So I'm probably just going to keep it on my desk at all times. So I went back to that wreath that I used and I'd cut in half and put it up in the top right corner. Well, then I went back and fussy cut a couple flowers there. You saw that. I fussy cut those flowers out to put them over on the left side now, and I really like how that turned out. I added a little bit of journaling, and here are my close-ups. And I'm done. Like I said, this came together really quickly. When you've got a great sketch and great kits, it's pretty easy to make it all come together quickly most of the time. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I really enjoyed making this. See you in the next video.